Welcome to today's WOD, Cam McClellan.
Al Lewison.
We're here today with a young and eager team of our rookies from OpenCorp, and we've got a field trip today.
Yep. So one of the things we talk about to our clients is we talk about how most people buying investment properties rock down to the local real estate agent and say, hey, where's the best investment property? And obviously the real estate agent is going to try and flog them something they've got, which we don't think is going to be the right property. So activity one, we're going to split up. We're all going to go and meet some real estate agents and talk about what the right investment property is in that area for you.
So you're going to say, which is you've got your alias email address, you're not going to say you work for a property company whatsoever. You're going to go in there, you're going to tell them you've got a certain amount of borrowing capacity worked out. You've already been speaking to your uncle, the broker, and he's told you can lend about X amount, but you don't really know what to buy. So can they show you some property around this amount? And then you ask them a number of questions, just stuff that you can think of, anything you can think of, to find out whether that would be a good investment, and ask him why he thinks that area, that property is a good investment over everything else. So you've got until now, till we get to the area we're going to think about those questions, have them written down, and then comes exercise 2. So we've got 3 challenges today. Shoot.
Do we get to choose our borrowing capacity?
Do it again.
Yeah. But try and put in line with what you think our clients are spending type of thing. So that'll give you a range roughly of where you'll be.
Are we going to have lapel mics?
No, going into the real estate agent.
Not James Bond.
Like camera, so like we can, see.
No, so you'll go and talk to them individually or go in groups of 2 or whatever. Come out, we'll ask some questions and tell us how you went and we'll sort of go through it.
Yeah, so take notes, because what we want to know is what questions you asked, what the agent said, and we want you guys to feel and absorb what the normal punter would feel like going in and finding an investment property.
And you should have a good idea, because I'm sure a lot of your clients you're talking to are asking you all sorts of questions. So think of some of those and see what you can put into practice today.
Regardless of your youthful good looks, I know you guys are probably a lot more astute when it comes to property knowledge than 99% of the population out there. So I'm expecting you to be able to find out some good information without putting the agent off and letting him know. My interior designer.
So we're going down to an area that's got, it's the 31 still. It's got some new apartments being built, it's got some old units in the area, it's got old houses, new houses. There's a real mix that, and it'll be interesting to see sort of the feedback you get from the people you talk to. Come activity 2, the other thing we talk to our clients about is we talk about optimum size and quality. So what we actually say is, even if we tell people the suburb we're investing in most of the time, if they went down there themselves, good luck getting the right property for themselves, okay? So we're going to go to a land estate, and we're going to the sales office there, we're going to talk to them about the same thing, what investment property, what's the right size land, where should I be, what sort of house do I get, you know the questions to ask, and let's see what you come out of there with. So 2 ends of the spectrum, and 2 things that we really talk about, the benefit in dealing with us to our clients, and we'll see what happens as a result. And exercise 3, a little bit different, but just looking at some, I guess, different type of properties in the market, sort of waterfront type environment properties and those sort of things. So that's the WOD for today. We'll get out hit the road and we'll be back shortly.
Okay, we've sent the team off.
So what we've done, we've picked an area where there's around 7 different real estate agents. So we'll paired up, some are going individual, but they're going to walk in the offices and ask the questions they think are relevant to wanting to buy an investment property in this particular area. In terms of what we're expecting them to find out, Ken, what do you sort of reckon they're going to come back with?
I think it'll come back to specifically what the agent has on the market at that point in time is what they'll be guided towards as far as their sale. Now, with agents, I don't begrudge anyone for making or wanting to make a living. Everyone's got to earn a living, but I'm more interested to see whether something's being oversold to an individual, especially young kids who we're sending in, obviously pretty fresh-faced. So it'd be interesting to see what sort of response they get from the agents, whether they get basically ignored like some agents will, you haven't got enough money, you're wasting my time, or oversold on a specific property and the benefits of the area. So I know this area pretty well, I live in the area, so interested to see what sort of info comes back. More importantly, I'm really interested to see the quality of the questions the guys are asking as well. They've been with us for a reasonable amount of time. They're pretty savvy when it comes to property. So
the guys out in my car on the way out had some great questions, and they're sort of saying, oh, is this question too detailed, or will that give much away? And I said, well, it won't, because everyone's read a property book or two, so just couch your questions around. I've read some books, here's my list of questions,
But as Cam said, I'm sort of suspecting they're all going to come back, and it's going to be about the property they can purchase, not about the right property for them, about what the agent at that point in time can get in front of them for the dollars they want to spend. So wait and see the responses, and as Cam said, the questions, but let's just wait and see how it goes.
I also know most of the agents in the area, so I can get stuck into them in the next school function if they try to take my crew for a ride. So.
Thanks soon, guys.
Keish and I pretended that we were two high school friends purchasing together with the borrowing capacity of max 650. We told them that we didn't want to go over 500 if we didn't need to. Everyone told us that we wouldn't be able to get anything in Blackburn in that borrowing capacity. Surprisingly, the two most knowledgeable real estate agents told us to steer well clear of apartments, which was good, but only gave us information in the local area and told us to go more outer ring as well.
Yeah, as we can't afford what's in this area sort of thing, so to get something, also looking more at new builds as well, or getting the biggest block that we could possibly find with something that put a bit of money into, do it up to a livable standard, but yeah, focus on the biggest block.
You told them that you wanted to buy this side of Christmas?
Yeah.
Did they show you any properties?
A couple. Like
We got one to take away,
which was for a unit in Bayswater. So,
And was there any follow-up actions or steps they gave you? Or
one person took down my number, another person took down my email address. One lady told us to buy a block of land worth $5 million.
Yeah. Out in Narrowwarren, because our borrowing capacity is 500. Yeah.
5 million?
Yeah.
And she's like, then you have to put down 500k deposit. And we're like, no, that is our borrowing capacity. So, and we said it's for investing purposes, and she didn't understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
Who else? Now, Bo, you went in somewhere first and there's no one around, is that right?
Yeah, I went into a couple of places, no one was there.
What did they say to you there?
Oh, they just said, oh, they'll be back around this time. Would you like to come back? Would you like to have someone give you a call? And I said, oh, no, that's okay, I'll just come back. And they're like, okay, thanks, bye.
So what did you do after there? You went to another agent?
Yeah, went to another agent and had a chat. No one, they looked a little bit flustered when I walked in, and they're like, oh, the reception girl was trying to give me advice on buying a property. She's like,
At least she was having a go.
Yeah, so she was like, I was once an agent, so, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I'm just looking for someone with a little bit more expertise. We're looking to buy an investment property, probably this side of Christmas. But we're wanting to talk to someone who's got a little bit more knowledgeable. So eventually an agent came out. Eventually an agent came out, and so we discussed. I asked, you know, is it better that we buy our own home first, or should we buy an investment property first? And he was like, you know, I think if it was me, I'd just buy my own home first. That way you've got equity growth, and it was a little bit, you know, fluffy. There was nothing really of substance to why he was saying that.
So you went in there and you told them you had a borrowing capacity and you wanted to buy before Christmas?
Yep.
Did they show you any property?
No.
How many agents did you go into? Just ended up talking to one?
Yeah, I spoke to one out of 3 that I went into.
How many did you girls speak to?
We spoke to 3 people and went into 5.
Alright, so... How did you go? What questions did you ask? Run us through a couple of questions.
First of all, Len Versone, he said for my age I should buy a home down in Ringwood, obviously because they've got bigger blocks down there, so he wanted me to subdivide and then just sort of sit on it, not really do anything. The other thing, aside from that, was if I was to invest, I should just look for good education in the area, good transport, and heaps of shops, which is pretty much in abundance out this way. So he said as long as you've got that, you've got a good investment.
Alright, and once again you told him you wanted to buy this side of Christmas.
Yeah.
Did they show you any specific properties that were ready to purchase now?
He showed me one that he recently sold, but...
So nothing available?
Nothing that was available for me, no.
Alright. Did you go, Les?
Yeah, good. I think I got a younger guy, so he wasn't really, you know, a pushy, older sort of guy. But I asked him a few questions. I took the angle that I didn't really know what I was looking for. just to sort of see what he was pushing me towards. He didn't really give me any concrete sort of advice. He did say sort of steer clear of negative gearing if possible, but other than that sort of, and he did mention obviously the land values, obviously the land content is very important, but other than that it was not really much in terms of, you know, I didn't really take much away from it because he didn't really justify anything that he was really saying. But
did you told him you got X amount of money and you want to buy before Christmas?
Yep, but I also told him, well, like I said, I was a bit unsure, so at least he might have taken that on board and didn't want to usher me straight into it. He did take my details, which is all right, so look forward to that phone call. And then, yeah, he didn't show me any properties or anything like that either, but basically what I took from it is, you know, land, definitely, and then stay away from negative gearing, but everything else was sort of, you know, nothing really, it's like Bo was saying, no substance really.
Yeah, a couple of things now, you probably can tell the obvious thing that I'm taking away. First of all, I'm actually impressed with the local agents out here on one side of the fence that, because I live in the area, that they haven't been pushy. And that's probably one sort of comforting factor, that we haven't got savvy, nasty agents who are pushing pretty hard. There seems to be a bit of, I suppose, incompetency, to be brutally honest, in their business models and also in what they're providing. You say?
Yeah, the guys have probably toned down their responses a bit on the camera here from what I just heard individually, but the key thing I took away was two ends of the spectrum. There's a young kid just out of uni, and there's someone who's closer to 50.
So there's the agents
in the area. And some of the feedback was really almost like, I don't know. I know about the house I'm going to take you to, but I don't know if investing is the right strategy, or how to give you any advice on whether investing is the right opportunity for you, which is interesting. Absolutely sacrilege for any business, as a side note, to have someone turn up and say, I want to buy a house pre-Christmas, and be told, no agents in the building, come back if you want. So that's just maybe incompetence, as Cam's saying.
And then to have 5 individuals all saying they've got a borrowing capacity which meets the criteria. I know every one of those agencies got properties within that price range, but to generally not be giving any specific education advice is probably good. They're not able to give financial advice, but an agent should be competent in giving an overview of an area and telling you what's good about the area. I don't think that was delivered in any way.
So if I said to you, Cam, in terms of as an experiment, turning up to the local agents, seeking advice on buying the right investment property, how'd they go, the agents?
I would say probably the last place I would want to go and find investment advice about buying a property would be a real estate agent at this point in time. Wouldn't you agree, guys?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.